All right, on to circles. Circle is a set of points in the plane equidistant from the given point called the center. It is a set of points in the plane. It's all of these points that are equidistant from a given point called the center. So every one of those points is equidistant away from the center. And the distance is the radius. It is a line segment from the center to any point on the circle. The diameter is a line segment through the center whose endpoints lie in the circle. So the diameter goes from endpoint to endpoint, passing through the center. The radius is only one little spoke, like a bicycle spoke, on that circle. This means that the radius is half of the diameter, or you could think about the diameter as twice the radius, whatever works depending on the problem. The circumference of a circle, circumference is like perimeter, it is the distance around, and the circumference of a circle is this formula or this formula depending on what you know. If you know the diameter d, you use this one, pi d. If you know the radius r, use this one, 2 pi r. And pi is approximately 3.14. You may have a scientific calculator that has the pi button on the calculator, and that's easier to use, it's more accurate to use. If your answer doesn't come out as accurate as MathXL would like, and you don't have a pi button, try using 3.14159 for pi, not just 3.14. This will make your answer a little more accurate, and then you might match up with their answers. So let's find the circumference of this circle. So this is 40 yards, that's the whole diameter. So I'm going to use this right here. C equals pi times d. So it's pi times 40, which looks better if we write 40 pi, and our unit is yards. Now for a little bit we've been talking about area, and the unit for area is square units. The unit for circumference is back to plain old linear units. So this is 40 pi yards. Now this says write your answer rounded to the nearest whole number. So I'm doing 40 times 3.14, and rounded to the nearest whole number is 126 yards. So what you enter is going to depend on what your directions say. Now it says write your answer rounded to the nearest tenth. So they're looking for a little more accurate answer. This is where you would use the pi button on the calculator. So you do 40 and actually use the pi button. But if you don't have a pi button, use 3.14159. Like I said, it's a little more accurate. And rounding that to tenths is 125.7 yards. Here's another one asking for circumference and area. We need this formula. I changed up the order making this video from what my regular notes are. So we need this formula to do the problem on the previous screen. The area is A equals pi r squared. And order of operations matters. And what that means is if you're doing this by hand, you have to square the r first and then multiply by pi. If your scientific calculator does order of operations for you, you can just type pi button times r squared and it will give you the right answer. So back to this problem, find the area and the circumference. Express your answers in terms of pi and then round to the nearest tenth. So let's do area first, only because they asked me to do it first. Area is pi r squared. So this is pi times the radius, which is 12 squared. Do this arithmetic is 144 pi. Not pi 144. You need to put 144 in front of the pi, centimeters. That is our area in terms of pi. Now our area rounded is 144 times 3.14, which equals 452.2 centimeters squared. I just realized I didn't put the squared on this up here. Back to area. As I was given the radius, I want to think of my circumference as being the formula 2 pi r. So this is 2 times pi times a radius of 12 makes 24 pi. We're back to circumference, plain old linear units, centimeters. Now to round that off to tenths, I need to do 24 times 3.14, or use the pi button on the calculator, and that will be 75.4 centimeters. All right, this is going to be a little more involved than the last couple of problems. It says, which of the following is the better buy? A large pizza with a 16-inch diameter for $15, or a medium pizza with an 8-inch diameter for $7.50. Now, don't be fooled. A lot of people look at this and think, well, it's the same because 8 is half of 16 and 750 is half of 15, but we're talking area. So remember better buy. Better buy was like the price per ounce or the price per pound. To do the better buy on this, I need to look at the price per square inch. So I need to find the square inches. I need to find the area of both of these pizzas. So for the large pizza, it is pi r squared, which is pi times a radius. The diameter is 16 inches. That means the radius is 8 inches. 8 squared gives me 64 pi. But let's do the arithmetic on that. 64 times pi is 200.96 square inches. Now the price per square inch is $15 over 200.96 square inches, which gives me 7 cents per square inch. So when you buy that large pizza, you are paying 7 cents per square inch. Same steps for the medium pizza. My area is pi r squared. So it's an 8-inch diameter. That means the radius on this one is 4 inches. So this is 4 squared, which is 16 pi. If I do 16 times 3.14, I get 50.24 square inches. And the price per square inch, we're looking at a $7.50 pizza, and we're getting 50.24 square inches, and that works out to be 15 cents per square inch. So the large pizza is the better buy. Okay, we need to find the area of this whole thing. Now, one easy thing to find is the area that's square. So the area of the square is just 16 squared, which is 256 square centimeters. Now these pieces, this together with this, make a circle. And that circle has a particular radius. If this diameter is if this is 16, then the radius is 8. So the area of that circle is pi times 8 squared, which is 64 pi. But we have two of those. We have this one going together to make a circle, this one going together to make a circle. So double that gives me 128 pi. So the square is 256 centimeters squared plus 128 pi. And to write that a little better, it should be this: 256 plus 128 pi, in parentheses because that's a binomial, square centimeters. That is our area in terms of pi. And then to do the arithmetic on this, plugging 3.14 in for pi, this works out to be 658.1 centimeters squared. What will it cost to carpet a rectangular floor measuring 9 feet by 24 feet? Let's draw this in. 9 feet by 24 feet. If it costs $16 per square yard. We had one of these last section. We have to get these into yards. 24 feet, if you divide by 3, gives us 8 yards. 9 feet dividing by 3 gives me 3 yards. So the area of this rectangle is 8 times 3, which is 24 square feet, is my area. And it's going to cost me $16.24 per square foot. And if I multiply that up, this is $389.76. Instead of dividing by 3, I could have done our unit fraction idea, 24 feet over 1. I need feet to disappear. I want to introduce yards. There's 3 feet in 1 yard. Feet goes away. There's my unit of yards staying. 24 over 3 is 8. So you can do it that way also. Last one is one of these things where you have to find the area of the shaded region. Anytime you're asked to find the area of the shaded region, it is always the area of the big figure minus the area of the small. Now, what is the big figure? The big figure is a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. All I need is the radius of the big circle. Well, if each of these little pieces is indicated to be 2, that means that this is also 2, and so is this. So the radius of this big circle is 2 plus 2, which is 4. So this is 4 squared, which gives me 16 pi. That's the area of the big. Now the area of the small, what I have over here on the small is just that circle right there has a radius of 2. So that's pi times 2 squared, which is 4 pi. That's the area of one of these. I have 2 identical circles, so I need to double that, which gives me 8 pi. So the red is the area of the big, the blue is the area of the small. I just need to subtract those. So that's 16 pi minus 8 pi, and I am leaving pi as pi because it said put your answer in terms of pi. So this is 8 pi, back to area, square centimeters.